say to you, oh, we'd love to help you, but we've got a policy, right? And it says once you've worn it, you can't exchange. Yeah, I know. It's the wrong colour and I want to exchange it, please. No, you can't exchange it because we've got a policy which says once you've worn it, you can't exchange it. Yeah, I know, but it's the wrong colour and I want to exchange it, please. And then they say, I'll get the manager. And then you do it 3 or 4 more times and they say, what do you really want? And you say, I want to exchange it, please. And they will generally exchange it. Because they don't know how to deal. Most people can't deal with assertion. Now, I'm not naturally assertive, which was why in one of my dip ed courses, a kid came in and he said to in front of the class, unfortunately, what were you doing on Plenty Road with that shoe in your hand? He thought I had a fetish, I think. I was sitting there with my shoe, which had cracked in the middle. I think it was Plenty Road, outside Rivers anyhow. And I was saying, and I was gesturing with it, practicing. And I was saying, and I was sitting there, I was running to my, I'm not normally that assertive, I'm second generation Australian and easygoing, but I wanted these shoes changed, damn it, they were 4 months old. So I was practicing on saying, I bought these 4 months ago, and the sole has cracked and I want you to replace it, please. And I was going like this with the shoe. So he saw me and he thought, what is this? You know, the guy's got a bit of a quirky nature here or something. So, and of course I went in and I said, you know, I bought these 4 months ago and as I said, I want you to replace them, please. And he looked at it and he said, no, no, no. He said, we're an agent. They're in Bendigo or Ballarat, wherever he said, and we're just an agent. I said, I understand, but I want you to replace them, please. And he said, no, we're just an agent. And I said, I understand, but I want you to replace them, please. He said, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send them there, and if they agree to replace them, they'll be replaced. I said, that sounds good, which it was, and they got replaced. Now, what's interesting about that is that most people cannot deal with assertion, and even these kids generally can't. So it's something to be really practiced in an adult tone. So, in pairs, one person will describe the situation you are going to control. The other one will find that it right. So now let's say I threw a stapler. What would you say to me? Who wants to practice? I threw a stapler. Now I'll give you the bottom line. Next time, pass it hand to hand. And I'll give you the top line, Ray. Someone put the thing together. Not hard.
Ray, you've just thrown a stapler. That's not appropriate because someone can get hurt.
Next time.
Next time, pass it hand to hand.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and now I'll try it again. I throw when you say.
Ray.
Yeah. Not to teach you, shall I?
Just after I've spoken to you.
No, no, this is the first time. And if I were... That was good. Now I'm going to say to you, if I were a C, your tone's going to catch me. So try and soften your tone as if you're talking to just an adult person. So it'll be Ray.
Ray.
Yeah.
You've just thrown the stapler.
Yeah, yeah.
That's dangerous. It will impact on the safety of others. Next time, please move it hand to hand.
She needed in a hurry.
Sorry?
She needed in a hurry.
I understand, Ray, but next time, move it hand to hand.
But it's crap. Did I hit anybody?
I understand.
Did I hit anybody?
Ray, I understand.
Oh, you're good. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so try that on your table in pairs. Go for it. It's going to get noisy, but go for it. Now, this is what you need to do. Technically, if you've got a teacher who's struggling, particularly struggling, but any teacher, this is what they need to do. They need to practice. Practice does two things. It makes you more competent and it reduces the perceived threat. Because you do know what you're going to say next. You do. You don't have to struggle for the words. And if it doesn't work, you know what you're going to say after that. And if it doesn't work, you know what you're going to say after that. So there's nothing they can say that you don't know what you're going to say in response to. And the last thing they can say is, well, fuck off and leave me alone, at which point you'll say, I can't make you do anything, and you change your body stance, but if you refuse to go over there, I'm going to have to get someone to come and get you, if you've got that system. Or I'll have to speak to you after the lesson and possibly involve your parent, whatever it is. But you'll have your system because you've got all your consequences planned out. You know what you're going to. So now's the time to go back to page, I think it's 8. Is it 8? Yep. And on the right-hand side, at the bottom there, write down, because you're going to... You imagine this. If I say to someone, look, you're speaking... watch this. You're speaking and it's disturbing people, and if you continue, you're going to get into trouble. That's one thing. It's vague. But if I said, look, you're speaking and you're disturbing people, and if you continue, I'm going to bite that part of your finger off. It's much more explicit, and the softer you say it, the more threatening you appear to be. Because if you're saying it in your adult, you're probably going to follow through. So if I say, look, you're speaking and you're disturbing people, if you speak again, I'm going to seat you in that chair there. You will probably be believed. Probably. And if not, big deal. I'll eventually say, please move. And he'll say no. And I'll say, well, I can't make you. And I'll take a step back and open my body stance, because that's going to show I'm non-threatening. But if you don't move, we'll have to talk about it after lesson. It's up to you, and I will move on. If he does anything else, I'll say, look, you'll have to leave the room now because you're being too distracting. And then if he says, I won't leave, I'll say, well, I can't make you, but I'll have to send someone else to go and get someone. Do you know, in school I went into Canada, it was so good. They have a button on their desk. And Mr. Who. They have a button, and you press this button, and this guy appears at your door and says, who? It's fantastic. I mean, every school should have one. And what was interesting is the kids go, he just goes, I watched it, he just goes like this, and the kid goes with him. He's not fighting with him, he's fighting with the teacher. And this guy's sort of just a non-entity person who just could be a parent for all I know, but he escorts them to wherever they've got to go. So in Craigieburn and other places, to keep the thing low-key, I know that at some point, I think they're still doing, they're sending kids via the office, and that's what I said to you. It would I'd say, look, you'll have to go out, go to the office, and I'll tell you where you're going to be. No one will bother you, but we'll talk about it later. And no one's allowed to talk to the kid at the office, or he signs out the time he left the room, signs the time he got to the office, because he can't be wandering, right? Then they look up a room, 2 years difference in age, a year level, they put him in the back of the room, they sign him out from the office, sign him into the room, he sits in the room, no one speaks to him, other than to say, that's where you'll be. If he does anything there, he offers the level coordinator, for sure, because that's on the back of the form. They figured that out, not me. I just said, keep legitimate power out of the process, because it excites the C's and the D's. Don't excite them. It's like putting a stumbling block in front of the blind. Why would you do that? We know they respond badly to legitimate power. Keep it as non-legitimate as possible. Just logical, just reasonable. You can even say things like, you're a lovely kid, but you're going to have to leave. You know, it's a shame, because when you talk so much, it just makes it impossible. That's all you do. It's the tone. Anyhow, any observations on what you just played out? Because next time we come here, you're going to have to be word perfect in those sorts of things, because I'm going to take you further. So I'd expect you to be able to, if I just throw out a situation, you would be able to, in a quick time, get your head around the statement. Look, Ray, you're doing this and it's having this effect, so please, etc. Yeah? Okay, any comments on that process?
Okay.
It's okay. And these will do that too. You will come back. You'll come back and say, look, you're still talking. If you talk again, I'm moving you over there. And I'll say, yes, sorry. So get the idea. The question was, what if it stops but repeats? It's no different to arguing. I will come to you and I'll say, look, you're speaking and they can't hear, quiet please. And you'll say, yes.